Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, also known as Scent Nick, and today we are going to be giving an official fragrance review of The Wonderland II by Folkwinds. Now, if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for the support. It means so much. If you are new here, or maybe you've just been trying to feel me out, gauge if I'm worth your time, please consider hitting that subscribe button and supporting the channel to help it grow. Now, before we get into the review, I am curious. How many of you have actually heard of Folkwinds? If you have, let me know in the comments below which ones you've tried, and if you haven't, let me know if you're curious about them. Now let's get on to the review. Folkwinds is an American-based house based in Vermont, founded in 2022 by Jono Bornstein. So he is the founder, but he is also the nose behind all of the fragrances that he creates. So what he does is very cool. He is a wonderful person and he uses the highest quality raw materials, ranging from real oud to vintage deer musks. But really what he does is he aims to use American raw materials and showcase what America has to offer by building scentscapes that really recreate the area around. Let's talk about price. Now, Folkwinds are not cheap fragrances, so there is an automatic barrier that is presented there. A 50 ml bottle of the Wonderland II ran me $595. Now, it is out of stock on his website as he does do limited runs of all of his bottles, but there are still some bottles available on Lucky Scent. I've got a link in the description below if you're interested to go check it out. Let's talk about how it smells. So the Wonderland II is a fruity, cool, mossy, and powdery chypre fragrance. And what it is trying to do is evoke the feeling of walking through an old growth forest in the early fall. If you're one like me that smells by color, this fragrance kind of presents itself as a deep purple with gray and a little bit of a forest green. The top notes that we're going to encounter here are going to be bitter almond, plum, aldehydes, and orris. Now, the opening is really a plum lover's dream. That plum is so strong. The other three notes really just sit behind it and amplify and finalize that plum accord. But it's really not a plum accord because what Jono did was he took real, fresh September plums and he used a bespoke CO2 extraction to get that smell out of it. It's very cool. Now, my only qualm with it is I think he used a little too much plum. I really wish that the other notes would have been a little more there, but you get this gorgeous, juicy, and very real plum that is backed by creamy bitter almond, powdery orris, and a little shimmer and ozonic touch from the aldehydes. The opening of this fragrance lasts a long time. Now, much longer than most other fragrances. I'm talking upwards of 2 hours. It's kind of crazy. But once that starts to settle back, you get into the heart. The heart of this fragrance is more orris, you get some ivy resin, you get a very clean oud, and you get some spice. In my experiences, the heart doesn't speak out very loud. You really still get that rich plum from the beginning, and you get just a little bit more of that powdery orris, which is very nice. I do wish that the rest of the notes were a little more pronounced, maybe the oud a little bit more, but hey, it still smells great. As you're getting further into the wearing, you will start picking up on the base notes, and that is what I love about this fragrance. The base notes, again, more orris. Now, Jono did something really cool with this fragrance is he created a full spectrum iris accord. So using all sorts of versions of iris being absolutes, butters, resinoids, pure arones. Really, he did a great job of making it be in the top all the way to the base, which is awesome. Well done on that. The other notes that you're going to pick up on are some oak moss, which really makes it the chypre. It gives it a little bit of that damp earth effect. You get a hint of castoreum. It's so little that really it's kind of there just to add a little bit of depth. You're not going to actually smell castoreum. I wouldn't mind actually smelling a little bit of castoreum. But then the other note that really makes this fragrance shine, and probably a note that you've never heard of, is called middy. Now, middy is literally the essence of baked earth, and that's what it smells like. It's dry and it smells like dirt. It's a very cool material, and really what it does is it adds a little bit of dryness and it makes it a little bit more powdery. So let's get on to the next questions. Is this original? For most people, yes, this is going to be an original creation, but if you've experienced any other Folkwinds before, especially Jasper No Kodo 2, you're going to realize that this is that same exact DNA. What Jono does is he gets a series to recreate a certain area, and he really just tweaks it, and it kind of highlights certain aspects of that one area. It's kind of cool. The target audience of this is definitely going to be masculine, and really it's going to be someone that has the money to spend on this and appreciates high quality materials. The performance, again, wonderful. You're going to get around 10 to 12 hours longevity. Projection is not going to be the most because, again, it is a 40% concentration. It does sit fairly close to the skin, making a nice scent bubble, and then that sillage is thick. Now, when do you want to wear this? Really, this is good for spring, fall, and winter. Don't wear it in the summer, too strong, and it really fits any occasion. Let's get to that score. Now, this one I'm going to give a 7.7. There are a few things I would tweak personally about it. I do think that plum overpowered just a little bit. It's not the most balanced composition, but Jono is still a new perfumer and he is getting better every release he does, and it's really great to see him grow. Only things I would have done, maybe add a little bit of leather, a little more animalics, and we're there. But guys, Folkwinds is an amazing house. Highly recommend going to check it out, at least sample it at some point. They're a really great company. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button to help this channel grow. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.